Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
From the gas pump to the grocery store, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much-needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton, with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/switch. That's mintmobile.com/switch.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Cognitive Recalibration Podcast. I'm your host, Shravan. I've got my co-host, Tyrone, here with me.
Hey everyone.
We're doing something different this week. He's moved to another state. We're remotely podcasting for the very first time. So how's the weather in Hobart?
It's pretty cold.
Pretty cold?
How's it in Melbourne?
Melbourne's okay. It's a bit cold too, but it's all right.
Can't do much. Thanks
to everyone who listened to our previous podcasts. We've had a big uptick in downloads after we shared on Facebook. So thanks everyone for that. And hopefully you enjoy this podcast, because today we're talking about Deadpool 2. I watched it last night and Taran's watched it today.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it earlier, but got a bit busy during the week. So got some time this morning and watched it today.
Same deal that we did with Infinity War. So we'll have a non-spoiler review for those who haven't seen it yet, and then we'll have full spoilers where we talk about pretty much anything we want. So I'll clearly mark the timestamps when we start spoilers, and if you haven't seen it, do not listen to anything after that point in time. We'll make sure that we don't spoil anything before the spoilers, so...
Yeah, no promises.
Most likely, if you haven't seen it, maybe just don't listen to anything.
Yeah, just listen to it after you've seen it, I reckon.
But this will go up the Monday after it comes out. So I think it came out on Wednesday. And
for some reason, it came out on Wednesday instead of Thursday. Because movies normally come out on Thursdays here, but...
it was... I don't know why they did a slightly earlier release, But let's get straight into it. What were your thoughts? Because you've literally just watched it, so how do you feel after it?
Before we talk about Deadpool 2, did you finish watching Deadpool 1?
Sort of.
Sort of. So you still haven't seen Deadpool 1, but you went to see Deadpool 2.
Yeah, so I just couldn't get around to watching it this week. So I watched Deadpool 2, and then I kind of watched the second half of Deadpool 1.
But you've seen the first half.
I saw the first half ages ago. Yeah. The first half is just his origin story. So how he gets cancer, and then he goes to this facility to get his powers.
Yeah.
So all of that, it didn't really interest me that much in the first movie. But the second half was, I guess, entertaining. So.
Did you like Deadpool 1?
Yeah, probably. It's not something I'd revisit a lot, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Deadpool 1. I really enjoy it. It's one of my favorite comedies, I reckon. I was going to watch it before I watched this one again, because it's been a while, but I did get to it. But yeah, it's something I revisit a lot.
Okay. Well, maybe...
Ryan Reynolds is... Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is my spirit animal.
You probably really enjoyed this one then, I'm guessing.
Actually, surprisingly, I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I probably like this one more than the first one. But that could be because I didn't watch the first one in the cinema. And I think watching it with a crowd does sort of make a difference, especially... The crowd I watched it with, they were quite into not like Avengers Infinity War, that was like next level, but there was a lot of laughter in the theater, so everyone was really enjoying the movie. So that might have contributed to me enjoying it more. Okay, well, in terms of the opening weekend, it's going to do about 130 million, which is pretty good for an R-rated film.
Yeah, is it the most for an R-rated film? I think it is.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. It's doing pretty well. So I guess we'll just quickly mention the story spoiler-free.
This is really hard to do the story spoiler-free, because I didn't know much about the story before I went in, but
Yeah.
like it's hard to do the story spoiler free.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much Deadpool has just become an assassin and he's going around the world pretty much killing people. And he comes across this other mutant, this kid who's a mutant. And Cable, you find out later, he's trying to kill this kid.
Thanos is trying to kill people as usual. Bloody bastard.
So it's pretty much just that. That's probably a really bad explanation of the movie. And you probably don't even want to watch it after that. But we can't really say...
watch it too. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't really say much without spoiling it.
It's like Terminator 2 with mutants and lots of people saying fuck a lot. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Was there more swearing in this one than the first one?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
Yeah.
The first word is a swear word, isn't it? First dialogue.
I think. Is it fuck? I think the first.
I think the first. It's definitely not for kids. In case you wanted to.
There is a funny. Yeah. There is a funny part in it, but I should probably save that till spoilers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of funny parts in it. The positives for me were pretty much the comedy. It probably hit more than I even expected it to. So I actually really enjoyed the comedy in this one. And there were a couple of notable cameos, which I didn't even notice. I noticed one of them, but I didn't notice a couple of other ones.
What, you didn't notice them?
I didn't even know who they like. You might not even know them then. But there are a couple of cameos, and I didn't even know that they were in it.
Well, I remember 3 big big cameos.
Yeah.
One of them is absolutely hilarious. It's the best part of the movie. Yeah, I think you know which one I'm talking about.
I think so.
We'll get to it in spoilers, but there's lots of cameos. There's lots of in-jokes, lots of references to...
Lots of references, yeah.
To Disney.
Lots of pop culture references, yeah.
Disney a lot, Marvel.
Did you hit Disney?
Universe? Yeah, with the Frozen stuff. Do you remember all the Frozen stuff? Yeah.
We probably can't say that yet, but yeah.
That's not a spoiler.
Okay, it's a minor spoiler. Yeah. The other thing I liked was the characters that were in the movie. Obviously, Deadpool was good. Ryan Reynolds just kills it as Deadpool. But I liked a couple of the new characters that they introduced. Domino, I really liked.
And Cable. Cable's really good as well.
Cable was good, but I thought there would be more of Cable. But I guess it's definitely like more of a Deadpool movie, and they kind of have Cable to bounce off Deadpool rather than Cable being one of the main characters. Because in the comics, it's Deadpool and Cable. They're like kind of equal.
But it is a Deadpool. It is a Deadpool movie rather than an X-Force movie.
Yeah, so they couldn't really have too much Cable in it. So that makes sense. I like the action. I think the action was definitely shifted up a notch for this one because the director is
better in this one.
Yeah, and the director's the director from John Wick. So you see a bit of that style in this movie in the action sequences as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And without giving too much away, I did like some of the emotional scenes with Vanessa. So what were your positives?
So yeah, it's pretty similar. The characters, Cable, Domino were really good additions. Dorpinder's funny again.
Oh yeah, he's pretty funny.
Blind Owl's pretty funny as well.
So Blind Owl is the old lady.
The old lady, who's blind. Yeah, lots of characters have like little small roles in this movie, and they're really good as well. Vanishing Man is one of my favorite characters. The story was pretty good as well. It's pretty similar to the first one in terms of they keep it pretty simple. And then
I thought this one was a little bit more complicated than the first one because the first one was very simple. It's just like he gets cancer, then he tries to cure it, and he turns into Deadpool, and then he just gets revenge. So but this one has a bit more happening. I felt
it has a bit more, but they don't overcomplicate it, which is good.
Yeah,
because with these types of movies, sometimes they do try and put too much into the plot. By far, the best part of it is obviously Ryan Reynolds. He kills it. He wrote the script as well, and he basically makes the movie.
Yeah, agreed.
It's an overall really, really good watch, and I think compared to the first one, the action's definitely taken up to a notch, and they've obviously got more CGI and stuff, and it looks a lot better than the first one.
In terms of negatives, I had a couple, which took me a little bit away from the movie. There were some scenes that were meant to have emotional depth, but I just didn't feel it. I can't say too much without
Yeah.
spoiling it. I'll talk about it more in spoilers, but there were meant to be these scenes between these characters that were meant to develop some sort of bond between them, but I never felt like there was anything there. And it kind of didn't feel right when certain things happened in the movie. But it also might be due to there was always like this continuous comedy and continuous jokes, and that might have taken away from some of the more emotional scenes.
Is that your only negative?
Well, everything's sort of linked to that. He says it at the start of the movie that this is a family movie, and the movie is about family, but after watching it, I didn't really feel like it was that.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. It's
Yeah.
it's still a good movie. It's still enjoyable. Good time at the cinemas. It's Deadpool, so it's not going to be serious. Don't expect like a serious story and serious consequences for this universe, because nothing really matters. It's Deadpool, and he's referencing that it's a movie the whole time. Did you have any negatives?
Yeah, so my negative is kind of linked to your one in terms of they tried to put a bit too much emotional depth into it. And Deadpool is a comedy movie, and I don't think it really needed the emotional depth that much. It would be okay if they put the emotional stuff in it and it hit, but I don't think much of it did hit that well. That's the reason why there is probably 20 minutes near the start and 15 minutes near the end where they try and get really emotional, and it probably didn't work with me as well as probably just straight comedy would have done. So that's my biggest flaw with the movie, which is why I didn't like it as much as the first one. Because the first one just tried to be a Deadpool movie, just comedy, fun action, slicing people's heads off and saying fuck a lot. But this movie tried to be a lot more than that, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't think it hit that well.
All the promotional materials they're saying it's bigger than the first one and all of that, and it is. But I don't think that's necessarily better.
Yeah.
But for me, I probably just enjoyed it more because I wasn't a massive fan of the first one. I liked it. It's not something I'd go back to often, and this is probably in the same bucket as that, but I enjoyed this slightly a little bit more. Yeah.
I got another positive that I just remembered.
Okay.
The end credit scene is the best end credit scene I've ever seen.
The end credit scene is great. It's not even a scene, it's like a sequence.
Yeah,
it's like an end credit sequence. Like there's a lot that happens in the end credit scene. So definitely stay for that. It's not at the very end of the movie. It's like a mid credits scene. So in terms of rating, I'd give it watch it once at the cinema. I think it's worth a watch at the cinema with a crowd. I think you might enjoy it more with a bunch of people. How about you?
I'm going to give it 23.5.
Okay, 23.5. Yeah. I remembered what you gave for Infinity War.
What was it?
So it was 536 or something. Yeah.
So this one's 23.5.
But are they out of the same thing? Because that means this is like a lot worse than that.
No, they're different scales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different scales for different movies. Okay.
Yeah, different.
Okay.
Every movie gets a different scale.
Okay. Well, let's see what you give the next movie. We'll see. We'll see if we can get some sort of comparison happening.
Yeah.
So that's probably it in terms of non-spoilers. That's all I have to say with that.
Yeah, I mostly just want to talk about the spoilers, to be honest, because there's a lot of fun stuff in this movie.
Yeah. So overall, I think we both recommend it. It's a decent time at the cinema.
Definitely go watch it. It's good. It's a good watch.
Okay, so we'll jump into spoilers now. Basically, the first 5 minutes is Deadpool killing some people, and he doesn't kill this one guy in his hometown. And then that guy happens to come back and kill Vanessa at his apartment. And it's their anniversary, and they're thinking of having a child. And that scene goes for about 5 minutes where they're talking about that. And then they invade the apartment and they end up killing Vanessa. That was okay. Because I wasn't that connected to the first movie, so it didn't hit me that much. But
I was connected to the first movie, and I didn't really care about it, to be honest. So it was all right.
The part after that I really enjoyed because they had these James Bond style title sequence.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. They have the James Bond and they have the song, and Deadpool's doing all the positions.
Yeah.
And did you read the
the titles, yeah.
Yeah. That's hilarious. I like the title sequence in the first one better, but this is a close second.
And the funniest part the funniest title was the director is like one of the guys who killed the dog in John Wick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What happens straight after that? He's basically...
He kills himself, yeah?
Well, that's the very first scene where the very, very first thing you see is a toy of Wolverine. It's a toy of Logan.
From Logan.
Logan, he's dying, and he like...
It's the part at the end of Logan where he's got the stick through him.
Yeah, and then, there's some dialogues about how that movie...
Like, Logan, ran off the coattails of Deadpool.
Which it did. It probably did, because Deadpool was the first R-rated comic book movie, and then they made Logan also R-rated after Deadpool's success, so he's not wrong.
And then he's like, fuck you, Wolverine, dying. I'm going to die in this one as well. And he kills himself.
Yeah, and then he kills himself, but he obviously can't die, so he grows back. We can talk about the characters with spoilers now.
I thought the first part of him doing all the stuff, joining the X-Men as well, and then going to jail was a bit slow. Just that whole part.
Definitely the part in the prison was slow, and I didn't really feel it that much, because it wasn't that funny. Like, there wasn't any comedy, really, in that part either. Yeah. So it was just a bit slow. But once they get out of that prison...
Once they get out of the prison and he makes the X-Force team, that's my favourite part. My favourite part is when they skydive out.
Yeah.
And then, one by one, each of them starts to die.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about, like, each of those characters, because I did a bit of background reading on those characters. I'm surprised they just die. Deadpool, everyone knows about Deadpool. He was as good as expected. Same as the first one. In terms of Cable, he was good, but they kind of skip over... Well, not even skip over. They don't even mention his origin. So, Cable is actually the son of Scott Summers and Madeline...
Jean Grey.
Well, it's the clone of Jean Grey. So it's Madeline Pryor, who's, you find out, is the clone of Jean Grey.
He's got the powers of Jean.
Yes.
Well, he's got, like, a lot of powers. And that bionic arm is, like, a mutation. And he's using his telepathic powers to keep it at bay.
Yeah, so basically
of his body.
Yeah, so basically when he was an infant, he was infected by a virus. It's a techno-organic virus from Apocalypse. And he has to use his telekinetic powers to prevent that virus from killing him. Yeah. So if he didn't have that virus, he'd probably be one of the most powerful mutants. But because of that, he's still pretty powerful, but his powers are hindered a little bit because of that.
Yeah, because he has to kind of always use that power to take care of that. Otherwise, he's going to die.
So in the movie, you do see him like making these shields and stuff. So that's his telekinetic power. And
he's also from the future, so he's got like a lot of technology and stuff.
Yeah. So he's from he's comes back from the future. But they didn't explain any of that in the movie. Like they just show that he's from the future.
I'm okay with that, though. I'm okay with them not explaining all of Cable's backstory, because it would have taken a lot of time, and it is a Deadpool movie. If it was a Cable movie, then it would have been shit. But in a Deadpool movie, I'm okay with that.
So maybe in the next one, we'll find out more about who his parents are and stuff. Maybe Deadpool will make a joke about it. Anyway, I'll get to it later, but you do see the X-Men very briefly in this movie. Yeah, they're one of the cameos. Who did you see? Because I only saw...
I saw Beast, Professor X.
Yeah, I saw those two. And apparently a lot of people saw Quicksilver.
I did see... Well, Beast is the one that closes the door, so he's the one...
Yeah, everyone will see him. But I saw McAvoy.
X is in the background.
Yeah.
McAvoy, not Stewart.
Yeah.
I didn't see anyone else. It's really quick.
Yeah, it's really quick. But since it's McAvoy, does this, like... I don't think it really matters because it's Deadpool and, like, nothing is meant to really make sense. But since they're, like, the younger versions of the characters... And it's not Stewart. Which timeline is this in?
To be honest, don't think it matters at all. I think they just did whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
I don't think the timeline in Deadpool is very specific and matters. They just do whatever they want because it's like fourth wall breaking and everything.
In terms of the other characters, I really like Domino.
Domino is cool.
Yeah, so her luck is... her power is luck. So she has really good luck. But the explanation for that is that she subconsciously manipulates the probabilities around her. That gives her supernatural luck. So there's some sort of... She's not just lucky. Like, she has some power to make her lucky.
Yeah.
To make things fall in her favor.
she had some cool scenes where kind of everything goes her way and it works out well.
Coming to the other members of the X-Force,
Oh,
they're not in it for very long, so...
These guys are the best.
So there's...
Can I talk about Vanishing Man?
Yeah, I'll talk about the Bedlam.
Bedlam, Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews. So he has the powers to cause pain to a person by altering the person's neural chemistry. You never get to see any of these powers because they all just die.
So basically, there's skydiving out of the helicopter, there's heavy winds, and all of them just find different ways to die.
And they die in the most horrific ways, all of them. There's Shatterstar, who's the alien dude.
I don't know who the actor is.
I'm not sure who he is, but he says he's better at everything than Deadpool, and he just dies. And then Deadpool's like, well, you're not better at that. And then there's the guy who like spits ooze.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
But he's the clown from
It.
Yeah. He's Bill Skarsgård. Yeah. So he's you do actually see his powers.
Yeah.
Very briefly.
Takes out what's the guy's name?
Peter.
That's right. Peter's just a normal guy.
He's just a normal guy. So the funniest part is, so Dopinder, he always wants to join Deadpool. He wants to be a superhero, but Deadpool doesn't let him join X-Force. And then Peter rocks up and is like, oh, I just read the job description. It sounded really interesting. And then Deadpool's like, yep, you're in. And you just see Dopinder in the back.
Dopinder in the back. It's so funny.
You can talk about Invisible Man, your favorite character.
Yes, it's Vanishing Man, yeah.
I thought it was Invisible. Oh, is it Vanishing Man?
I think it's Vanishing Man.
Okay, yeah. Well,
the funniest part is at the start, they come in for the interviews, and then they've got like mug shots of each of them, and then the guy's like, "Oh, Vanishing Man's in next," and then Deadpool's like, "He's not here." It's like, "Oh, I get it." They talk to nothing, and then they're like, "He's not here yet, is he?" He's like, "Nah, he might be running late." I'm like, is this guy real or is this guy not?
So it turns out he was real, because I thought it was like, you know how they have the parachute and the backpacks? I thought they just chuck a backpack. He's not actually there.
But yeah, basically he is real, and he jumps out, and he's flying, and then Deadpool's like, "Oh, you're gonna be all right, man." And he goes into electrical wires, and then he unvanishes, and he's Brad Pitt.
Yeah, he seemed for like 2 seconds.
Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best part.
Yeah, that whole scene is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Was there anyone else in X-Force that we've missed?
So we got Bill Skarsgård, Bedlam, Shatterstar, and Peter.
And Peter. So all of them die except Domino.
They all die except Domino,
Yeah.
They're in it for like 2 minutes. It's the funniest part. Because you're like, oh, one of them's going to die. The rest of them will survive. No, all of them died.
So what did you think of Fire Fist, the kid?
Okay. He wasn't great. He wasn't the worst. I was okay with him. Kind of just indifferent. What did you think?
I like the actor. I like him from Hunt for the Wilder People. He's really funny in that. I haven't
seen that yet, but I hear he's really good in it.
No, he's really good in that. He's okay in this. I thought he'd be funnier, but he's not really that funny in the movie. He has a couple of jokes, but it's not really that funny. He's very volatile. You don't know what he's going to do next.
Yeah.
One moment he likes Deadpool, and then a couple of scenes later he doesn't like him anymore. And then
his character goes back and forth a lot, so it's hard to get on board with him.
And I guess that was one of the negatives of the movie, because you're meant to actually care for this character,
but you don't really care for him.
You don't really care for him, and you don't really get why Deadpool cares so much about him as well. Because he didn't care about him at the start. And then I get it. Vanessa says his heart's not in the right place. The children bring out the best in us or something. He wants to help this kid and set him on the right path. But I just didn't buy it, because it just doesn't seem like the kind of thing Deadpool would do anyway.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I didn't buy it that much. And the kid wasn't likable enough to kind of get on board with him the whole way through.
And the kid, he makes a friendship with Juggernaut. So Juggernaut is...
I thought the Juggernaut was really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a better version than the one we see in X-Men 3.
Oh, that fish.
From the gas pump to the grocery store, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you a much-needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton with phone plans starting at just $15 a month. All plans come with unlimited talk and text, plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/switch. That's mintmobile.com/switch.
It was shit. That was fucking shit. This one's much better.
This one's much better. And like you find out that Deadpool's a really big fan of Juggernaut.
He starts quoting like the TV shows that he was in and the comic books.
The comic books, yeah.
He says all the comic books he's in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he rips them in half.
Yeah, I didn't get that. Why does he do that? Does he just not like him? Was that just what Juggernaut does, or?
Yeah, I think he thought he was a threat, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But in terms of Juggernaut origins, so Juggernaut is actually a stepbrother of Charles Xavier.
They briefly go through that in the movie.
Yeah, so he mentions that in the movie. But basically, he wasn't born a mutant, but he gets his powers through some stone or something.
I just thought one of the funniest things in the movie.
Yeah.
With Deadpool and Juggernaut. Deadpool's fighting him, and he's like, the sun's getting real low, like from Age of Ultron with the Hulk.
So he treats him like the Hulk, yeah.
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 Oh,
the sun's getting real low. So I didn't mind Juggernaut. He was pretty good.
He was good. He's really strong as well. And the fight between him and Colossus.
Yeah. So Colossus was really good as well in this again. And you don't get to see much of
Negasonic Teenage Warhead. Yeah.
And it's funny in the first one when she says her name. It's like Deadpool's like, what? That's the coolest name.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's that girlfriend? She was funny for some reason. I found her really funny.
Yeah, she just keeps saying hi to Deadpool.
Yeah, she's like, hi, Wade. And he's like, hi.
Every time. And she actually has some powers. I don't like some electrical.
X-Men.
Yeah.
I don't know who she is.
So all the secondary characters were pretty good. Colossus was good. Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend weren't in it that much.
Not in it that much. Colossus and Deadpool have some good chemistry going. They have some romantic chemistry going. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Them to get together.
What did you think of Black Tom Cassidy?
The funniest part about Black Tom Cassidy is when Cable kills him. Black Tom Cassidy's white, first of all.
Yeah.
He's white. And for the rest of the movie, Deadpool
just calls him racist.
Yeah. Because he shoots a Black Tom Cassidy, who's a white person.
A thing from the comics is Juggernaut actually teams up with Black Tom Cassidy.
Does he?
They're like a partnership in the comics.
That's so. He was a nothing character up till the part when Cable shot him in the face, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. if Cable did shoot him in the face, I wouldn't have remembered him.
Yeah. I think that's all the main characters. Oh, there's this principal dude that's meant to be the bad guy. I didn't really care about him.
I didn't care about, The other guy's funnier, though. Oh, actually, this guy, the joke's about this guy. When he's running away from the kid, and then Deadpool turns around, and he's like, oh, he looks like a pedophile who just lost his laptop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's talking about the principal, right?
Yeah, he's talking about the principal. He's like, he looks like a pedophile that just lost his laptop. That part's really funny. Lots of one-liners really hit in this movie.
Yeah. We'll quickly talk about the cameo. So you already mentioned one with Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt? Yeah.
Know that Matt Damon was in this movie?
I did not know that. Where was he?
So he was one of... When Cable first comes back in time, he sees these two redneck guys. One of them is Matt Damon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did not know that.
He's got a lot of makeup on.
Yeah.
But I didn't notice it either, but apparently it's Matt Damon.
All right, fair enough. Any other ones?
There's obviously a lot of Wolverine references. And I think the end credits scene, it wasn't actually him. I think it was just footage from X-Men.
It was footage from the movie. Yeah, just footage from the movie.
We'll talk about the end credits scene in detail afterwards. What references?
What's your favorite end credit part?
Yeah, well, okay, yeah. I know which one's my favorite.
I know which one's my favorite as well.
Yeah. In terms of the references, I really like there was a lot of good references. I like the DC ones because
the DC ones were the best for me as well.
The DC one, because it's like...
The one is the first one he says, when he's like, I was fighting another Cape Crusader.
And his mum's name's also Martha. Yeah.
That's the best one. Yeah.
That one was good, but the other one, he's fighting with Cable, and Cable says something. It's like, you're so dark, you should be in the DC universe.
That one was good, but it was in the trailer, so it did hit as hard, but it's really funny. Yeah.
I didn't see that trailer, so that was like really funny for me. Yeah. There's a joke about Thanos. He calls him Thanos.
Yeah, he's like, shut up, Thanos.
There's a joke about John Connor, because it's pretty reminiscent of Terminator, because he comes, except John Connor's not the one that comes back in time. It's the Terminator looking for John Connor.
In the first one, John Connor comes back in time.
No, that's not...
no, it's his dad.
Apparently, I haven't seen it, but in Terminator Genesis, John Connor comes back in time.
Yeah, he does. I've seen it. It's shit. Don't watch it.
So he might have been referencing that movie.
No, I don't think he was, but... What other... There's lots of Frozen references.
Yeah, and that song actually does sound like...
It does. It sounds exactly like it, and I didn't realize it until he mentioned it in the movie.
No, like when they play that song, and at the very start when they're watching that movie, this sounds like a Disney song, but I couldn't put my finger on it.
And he's like, does this song sound familiar?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, it does, but I don't know what it is. And then he sings it at the end, and it's the same song.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same song.
Yeah.
And that's like an ongoing joke throughout it. What else is... There's some Marvel references as well, isn't there? When he's got the collar on his neck, he's like, if you give me a bow and arrow, I might as well be Hawkeye.
Yeah, that's right. Because he loses all his powers, so...
And he's like, useless. And he's like, I'm useless to you at the moment. If you give me a bow and arrow, I might as well be Hawkeye. I found that really funny.
I kind of missed that one. I think people around me were laughing or something.
Any other really funny one?
There's that part when the kid is eating cereal with Wolverine on it, and then he signs it with Ryan Reynolds.
My favourite references were the DC ones, though. They were the funniest, I think.
Yeah, he didn't make too many Marvel ones, like MCU ones, except for like the Thanos and the Hawkeye one. Yeah. There was some reference about Passion of the Christ.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how Passion of the Christ used to be the highest grossing R-rated movie?
Yeah.
It still is domestically. So it's like Passion of the Christ and then me, Deadpool 1. So he's like referencing that. And he's like, but in worldwide we beat them because no one gives a shit about religion worldwide.
Yeah. I guess we should probably talk about the end credit scenes. So you've just watched it, but I'll try to remember what they were in order. Naisonic Teenage Warhead and a girlfriend fix Cable's watch.
Cable's watch, yeah.
And so I think they fix it so that it can just go back in time and there's no limits or whatever, right? So he goes back in time and he redoes pretty much the whole...
First it's like normal stuff that he redoes.
Like he saves Peter.
He saves Peter, yeah.
I don't know why he just saves him. Like he doesn't care about any of the other guys. He just saves Peter.
Remember at the start though, he's like, I love you. I wouldn't let anything bad happen to you. So he goes back and saves him.
He stood by his word. And then he saves Vanessa, which is expected. But my question is, since he does save Vanessa, does that mean that this whole movie didn't happen? Because the only reason he goes after that kid is because of her.
Yeah.
Like, because she died. So if she didn't die, he wouldn't have done that. And then Cable would have just killed him.
Yeah. But saying that, it's a Deadpool, so I don't know if it matters all that much.
We don't really know if that end credit scene actually even happened or not. And the other end credit scene was he goes back and kills the old version of Deadpool or the X-Men Origins.
That part's hilarious. He just shoots him in the head and then shoots him like 5 times.
My favorite one was, so it shows a script of Green Lantern and Ryan Reynolds reading it, and then Deadpool just comes and shoots Ryan Reynolds so he doesn't make that movie.
Yeah, like Ryan Reynolds reads it and he's like, time to go to the big leagues, mate. And Deadpool shoots him in the back of the head. Which is so good. That's my favourite part.
Was there anything else in the end credit scene?
I think it's just those 4. No, there's another one. There's definitely one other one. I can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I'll look it up. You keep talking. I'll look it up.
So I said a couple of neighbours in the spoiler-free section, so I'll talk about in more detail why they're negative for me. So there's also, so I talked about the emotional connection between Deadpool and this kid, which I didn't buy. But there was also a part where, at the very end, where Cable goes back in time to save Deadpool. And I didn't really buy that either. Like, I didn't think Cable would do that. I thought he cared more about his daughter and his wife than Deadpool. So he used up his one charge or whatever to save Deadpool instead of going back to the future where his wife and daughter were alive. So
I knew it was coming, because if Cable goes back into the future, then they can't do an X-Force movie with Cable in it, because he'll just be in the future and it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I knew it would happen, but I didn't understand why Cable would do that.
Yeah, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I get why they did it. They took that really seriously, that part. If they made a joke of it, it might have actually been even better. If Deadpool was just like, you just did that so we could make another movie, right? Or something.
Yeah.
If he's just said...
He should have referenced it.
Yeah.
It would have been so much better.
But yeah, they didn't say anything, so we've got to treat it like it's a serious plot point.
The good thing about Deadpool is that even if they do something seriously cheesy, Deadpool can just call it out and it works.
Yeah.
But they did the cheesy thing, but Deadpool didn't call it out, which makes it just shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the very end where Deadpool, he's dying, but he just doesn't die? He's like, it's coming, it's coming.
Really funny. I found that really funny.
It's like, I can see the light. Wait, that's just the sun.
Yeah. I thought that was really funny. I enjoyed that part. For a minute, I thought he wouldn't die. I thought the collar wouldn't work and he'd still be alive.
Yeah.
That's what I thought would happen, but I enjoyed what they did with it.
It would have been really funny if that collar was defective or something and he wasn't actually dying.
Yeah, that's what I thought would happen.
Did you have any more negatives or anything you want to talk about in more detail?
No, those were all the end credit scenes. We actually hit them all. So, nothing really else that I really want to talk about that much.
What do you think of TJ Miller? A lot of people didn't like him.
Well, there's a lot of off-screen stuff going on with TJ Miller as well, which I think is why people don't like him.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's a dick in real life. And he's not going to be in the next one. I thought they were going to kill him off in this one. I thought Cable was going to shoot him in the head. He was alright. I thought it was pretty funny, but...
Yeah, I thought it was funny. There's that one scene where Cable's got him tied up, and it's like, I'm not going to tell you anything. And then he just tells him everything.
Yeah. I thought that scene was really funny. It takes away from a little bit because you know the guy's a dick in real life, but he's still pretty funny, unfortunately. Apparently he's not going to be in the next one, though.
They're just going to cut him out. Well, maybe next one will just be like X-Force.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to talk about what you think's going to happen next?
Before we talk about that, we'll just talk about our top 3 moments.
Oh, yeah. Go top 3 yours.
So my top 3 are... This is not in any particular order, but I really like the scene where Domino is that chase scene with Domino. So it's right after the X-Force, like everyone in X-Force dies. That scene was really cool. Kind of see her powers, and he's like, oh, luck, that's not very cinematic. But then you see all this, like, cars blowing up and stuff. Like cars going to petrol stations, blowing them up. That was pretty cool. My another scene that I really liked was X-Force scene. So the one we've talked about.
That's the best part, yeah. I love that scene.
So everyone dies. I really like the recruitment scene before that. How they recruit everyone. And the vanishing man, his headshot is just empty.
It's just an empty headshot. It's so funny. The recruitment scene's hilarious. That part's so good.
And I have to say the end credit scenes, because they are the funniest. Probably one of the best end credit scenes. So those are my top 3.
Yep, you did 4, but fair enough.
Was that 4? Well, I bunched. It's technically only 2 because the recruitment X-Force scene, and then the X-Force scene, and then the Domino scene. They're all one after the other. So,
but it's different scenes. Okay, but fair enough. I'll give it to you. Yeah. So my 100% favorite part is when they all jump out of the helicopter, and specifically the part when Vanishing Man dies, because you see Brad Pitt, and I didn't expect it. It was out of nowhere. So funny. End credit scenes as well are the best parts in the movie. And even though Marvel end credit scenes are really good, I reckon this is the best end credit scene that's ever happened. Probably go that far.
Yeah, because the Marvel ones are not... Firstly, they're shorter than this one.
Yeah.
So they're more like just like a snippet, whereas this was more like it wasn't even a scene; it was like a sequence. So
Yeah.
I guess that's where it differentiates it. Marvel gets you hyped for their ones get you hyped for the next movie. I guess this one does too, but yeah,
I think it's the best part about it is how self-referential it is,
yeah,
and how it just makes you love Ryan Reynolds because you just know how much he gets. He understands when he does a shit movie, and he understands when he's taking a shit role, and Ryan Reynolds is just role model. It's amazing.
I just remembered one fourth wall breaking part where he's like, you know, when Cable explains his watch and how it works, it's like, all right, it's only got 2 charges, so one to get me here and one to get me back. And then he's like, yeah, that's just lazy writing.
Yeah. That's so good.
And then he's like, and then Colossus and Juggernaut fight is like a massive CGI fight coming up.
That's a CGI fight coming up. It's that's what just makes Deadpool so good. How like self-referential it is. And, yeah. So I've got those two, and also even though it was so small, that scene where he's in the X-Mansion, he's like, "Why wouldn't this studio cut us some slack? Like the first one did so well. Can't we get some mainstream X-Men to come through?" And then you see them all in the room, and then Beast close the door. It's so funny. So those 3 are my favorite parts. I think the first one's funnier, but I think this one is still 90% of the jokes are really good and they hit. The cameos are the best part of this movie, I think.
Okay, well, we'll talk about the sequel. I think it has been announced to be X-Force.
Do you think this sequel will happen, though?
Yeah, I think it will happen. Because one's... Deadpool 1 did really well, and this one's going to do really well. So they're going to make it. They're going to make the next one.
The reason I'm asking you if you think it will be happening, because Disney should be acquiring Fox by the end of this summer. So by the end of this summer, Disney will own all the X-Men rights, and they might want to bring these characters into the MCU. And there's rumors going on that after only the movies that are currently in production will continue to be made, and anything else will be canned, and then Disney will take over and do what they kind of want. But with Deadpool, I don't know if they'll just keep it the same because it's so popular.
I think they'll keep it the same. So I think what they'll do is they'll get rid of all the other X-Men movies. So whatever's, I think Dark Phoenix and New Mutants. I think those will be, well, New Mutants isn't linked to the X-Men universe anyway, I don't think.
No, I think it's in the same universe, but it's just like a standalone.
Okay, well, I don't think those movies will continue, so those will be the last of them.
They'll be released, obviously, because they've already finished filming and everything.
Yeah.
But they probably won't do any sequels to those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think we'll still get Deadpool, but I don't think they'll merge it with the MCU. Because it's just too different, and it just wouldn't make sense to have Deadpool there.
Do you know what I would love? A Deadpool and Spider-Man crossover. Because that would work so well.
All the Deadpool movies,
It would have to be R-rating, though. It would have to be an R-rating movie if it's a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, that's firstly an issue. I don't think they'll have any of the MCU to be R-rated, because they don't need it to be. They want it to appeal to a wider audience. So they wouldn't do that. And secondly, when Deadpool's in a movie, it is a movie. Like, it's not, if you know what I mean. Like, he's always referencing the audience. Like, he's always talking to the audience, and he's fully self-aware that this is a movie. Whereas in the MCU, it's not like...
It's like real life. Yeah, I understand what you mean. I don't think they should bring Deadpool into the wider MCU in terms of, like, making part of the bigger story. But I would enjoy having him in a standalone movie with one of the MCU characters, like him and Iron Man, a story with them two, him and Spider-Man, like just a standalone story that has nothing to do with the wider MCU.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like a team-up movie, basically.
Yeah, it could work. It'd be interesting if they don't make it R-rated, and every time Deadpool wants to say something that's like R-rated, it's just beeped out and he gets really angry.
Yeah. There's this TV show called The Good Place. I don't think you've seen it, but basically the characters go up to heaven and they can't swear. Whenever they try and swear, they say like a different word. So they try and say fuck, but it comes out as like fuzzy or something else.
Oh, okay.
So they could be like that. Like Deadpool will try and swear, but every time he swears, he can't, and it comes out as a different word, and he could like reference it and be like aware of it. That would be a way to make it kind of PG-13.
But I'm happy with just having Deadpool standalone.
Unlike an R-rated.
Yeah,
and you get all the violence and stuff as well.
And I don't think it needs to be, because he references all the other guys anyway. So I feel like it doesn't need to be linked in with the overall universe.
I'm gonna say they're gonna make X-Force.
Yeah, they'll definitely make it.
Yeah, they'll make X-Force. They already have a director. I think they have a story, but not a script. So I think they will make X-Force. But Deadpool 3, I think, might be a team up with an MCU character, if I'm gonna guess. Well, and all the other X-Men stuff will probably be cut.
They'll probably reboot it.
Yeah.
Your dog's
Can you hear that?
Your dog's very excited.
That's the dog. Yeah, he's not happy. He's not happy.
Well, what's wrong?
I don't know. I think he's outside. He wants to come back in, but it's all right. Yeah.
Is he gonna keep doing that?
No, he's back in now.
Oh, he's back in. Okay.
Yeah, he's back in. Yeah.
All right, he's happy.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Do we have anything else to say?
No. I do want to see more of Deadpool though.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely. It's gonna make too much money for them not to make any more Deadpool movies. So
yeah. And 100% Ryan Reynolds was made to play this role, so...
Yeah, well, he actively pursued this, like, making this movie, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's pretty much that character. Yeah.
And I just find the comedy that they do in these movies, like, really connects with me. It's very funny.
It's probably It's, to be honest, it's not my style of comedy. Like, I have fun with it, but I wouldn't go revisit it over and over again. But
yeah, this is my bread and butter. This is how I make jokes and stuff as well. So it really connects with me. Yeah.
I think that's it. So hopefully you enjoyed our review of Deadpool 2. We both enjoyed it. We have ways you can connect with us now. So we have a Twitter handle.
Yeah. Finally set all this shit up, so it's ready to go.
So what's our Twitter handle?
I don't know. What is it?
So he was meant to set it up, but I ended up setting it up.
I'm totally on board with this. No, it's good. Yeah.
So the Twitter handle is @CRecalibration. So if you want to tweet us a question or suggestion for what we should do in future episodes, feel free to do that. We have an email. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do know what that is. It's cognitive recalibration podcast@gmail.com.
And just for your information, he didn't set that one up either. I did.
No.
But he remembers
I did set up the next one, though. I said...
And we have a Facebook page.
Yeah.
So that's after a lot of persuasion.
Yeah. I don't work for free, guys.
Yeah. It took a lot of effort to get him to set this up because I was like, you got to do something, man. So he set up a Facebook page. What's the Facebook page?
It's just cognitive recalibration.
Yeah. Easy to find. So give us a like on that. And if you want to ask us a question on that, feel free to do that too. So we'll have links to the podcasts through Facebook. I'll post them on Twitter. And so we're on iTunes and Stitcher at the moment.
Yeah. And we're trying to get on Spotify soon.
We will be on Spotify for this episode. So
okay, awesome. Yeah.
We'll be on Spotify, so you can find us on that. Yeah, so give us a subscribe, give us a like. Okay, so that will do it for this week. Next week, we've got Solo.
Yeah, I hear it's shit, so it should be fun.
I hear it's okay.
Oh, I heard it's shit, so
okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see who's right. I heard it's fine, but let's see.
Yeah.
That'll be it for this week. We'll see you next week. See you later.
All right, see you later, guys.
Bye.